All right, so in the calculator to do these same calculations, instead of using the table, you're going to use this function called normal CDF. So this is CDF stands for that density function we're using, and C stands for cumulative because we're looking at this area under the curve in a certain range. The inputs for this, if you don't have a wizard, it wants the lower bound of what you're interested in, the upper bound, and then the mean and standard deviation. If you have a calculator with a wizard, it'll actually prompt you for these. I think in the 36X Pro, it asks for the mean and standard deviation first, but again, they're labeled, so it's pretty straightforward. You're going to find normal CDF, the same place you found binom, CDF, and PDF in the distribution menu. So if we're going to go ahead and do this, let me pull up my calculator. I can go into second and vars to the distribution area, and normal CDF is the second thing. We're never going to use normal PDF. The only reason that's in there is to graph the curve, but it doesn't have any meaning, right? The height of the curve doesn't mean anything. So for the first one, if we're going to use normal CDF, first thing we need to do is tell it the lower bound of the area we're interested in. And so here, technically, the normal distribution goes off to negative infinity and positive infinity, even though it's very unlikely to be out in those sections. So what we're going to do is we're going to basically tell our calculator negative infinity. There is no negative infinity button, so you have two options. You can do either negative and then a bunch of nines. A really great version to use is the little e, which actually stands for scientific notation. So to do that in your calculator, you use the negative button, and then the double E here, you do second and the comma. That actually means 10 to the 99th power. So this is 1 followed by 99 zeros. And then the upper bound of the area we're interested in, well, we kept going. We're interested up to negative 1.42. Negative 1.42. So if you don't have a wizard, you're just going to enter all these things with commas like I am. And the nice thing is if you have the no wizard, you can actually just stop here, and normal CDF will do a z-score. Now if you have a wizard, and just in general for what we're going to be doing next, if you do want to put in the mean and standard deviation, just remember your mean and standard deviation for a standard normal are 0 and 1. So you could go ahead and tell it 0, 1, and it'll also give you out the exact same probability, 0.0778. So just to write down what the shortcuts would be for the next two. For the next one, normal CDF, oops. The lowest thing we care about is the 1.95. And then we'd go off forever and ever and ever towards positive infinity. So we'll do a positive E99 or a crap ton of nines. And then the easiest one to do this for is the last one, because the actual lower and upper bound are things that we have, right? We want to go from negative 1.02 to positive 2.57. So I'll actually do that once we can see it. So second, vars, grab my normal CDF, negative 1.02 all the way up to 2.57. And we get out that 0.841. And you can see here we actually end up with a 1 as the last decimal because we have a little more of an exact answer using the calculator. So anyways, that's how you can use normal CDF instead of the table when dealing with the standard normal distribution.